207-GARLAND underscore for underscore the underscore delight underscore of underscore the underscore fortunate underscore by underscore Sarah underscore Kandro. Garland for the delight of the fortunate. A supremely clear elucidation of words and their meaning, an explication of the oral transmission of the glorious Guru, as notes on the nature of reality, the great perfection, Buddhahood without meditation. By Sarah Kandro. Homage. Homage to self-emergent pristine awareness, indivisible from the three kayas. Inconceivably emanated as apparitional displays for guiding others, out of compassion. To the spontaneously actualized kayas, facets of primordial consciousness, and the perfection of sublime qualities. In the space of the lucid expanse of the absolute space of phenomena, free of extremes. With faith I bow 100 times to the three ultimate refuges. The Buddha, whose expansive, sublime qualities of freedom and realization awaken us from the sleep of ignorance. The Dharma of scripture and realization that pacifies mental afflictions. And the Arya Sangha, imbued with knowledge and freedom. Protect us, second Buddha Padmakara, Padmasambhava. Or Gain, the self-emergent Nirmanakaya, transcending causes and conditions. In the center of a lotus on an island. Who emanates clouds of Vajras and Dakhanas of the three places. Homage to Düdjom Lingpa, protector of the wheel. The extraordinary chariot of the essence of the supreme Jnana, and to Samantabhadra, manifesting as a spiritual mentor. In order to guide disciples. Immersed in the expanse of realization of the ocean of profound meanings. Fathoming countless definitive dharmas. You are the true Vajradhara, who knows reality as it is. And perceives the full range of phenomena. To train disciples, the actual Vajradhara displays the realm of the secret mantra, Jnana. In the lucid absolute space of the wheel of Dharma. Having cleansed the snowy peak of the supreme Jnana. You have caused the rain of Dharma teachings of the three classes and 9 expanses to fall. Homage to the assemblies of Vajras and Dakhanas, those lords of Dharma. Who terrify the hosts of creatures who disparage the Dharma. For the sake of myself and others, I shall lucidly present the vital essence of the view of all the jhanas of the three times. The great perfection of pith instructions on the pinnacle of the 9 jhanas. This oral transmission of the Guru, the Lord of Treasure Revealers. Without contaminating the higher or lower teachings with my own fabrications. May the Lords of Dharma, the Vajras and Dakhanas, the guardians of the teachings, and the Lords of Treasures grant the permission. In this commentary to Buddhahood without meditation, teachings on the nature of the great perfection, there are I, the explanation of the auxiliary elements of the text, and 2, the actual explanation of the meaning of the text. As for the first, the explanation of the auxiliary elements of the text has already been presented. 2. The actual explanation of the meaning of the text. In this section there are 3 parts, a. The virtuous introduction, b. The virtuous meaning of the text, and c. The virtuous conclusion. A. The virtuous introduction. In this section there are 3 parts: 1. The meaning of the title, 2. The homage, and 3. The explanation of the introduction. 1. The meaning of the title. Buddhahood without meditation, advice for revealing your own face as the nature of reality, the great perfection, is presented here. The nature of the earth element is emptiness, and emptiness appears as the earth element. This likewise applies to the elements of water, fire, air, and so on. The nature of the outer appearances of the physical world is emptiness, and emptiness appears as the physical world. The nature of the inner, animate sentient beings who inhabit the physical world is emptiness, and emptiness appears as the sentient inhabitants. The nature of the 5 sensory objects is emptiness, and emptiness appears as the 5 sensory objects. Therefore, since the nature of all phenomena is emptiness, this is the nature of reality. The ground is perfection because it perfects the phenomena of samsara, including the aggregates, elements, and sense bases. The path is perfection because it perfects the various yanas, including the inconceivable entrances to the path and resultant attainments. The fruition is perfection because it is primordially present as the great nature of the 25 resultant dharmas of the kayas, the facets of primordial consciousness, and so forth. In short, this is perfection, for it perfects the 9 stages of the yanas, together with their results. It is great because it synthesizes all the yanas, unifies their meaning, and summarizes their essence. This is advice for revealing your own face, for this is a profound method, or path, for revealing the pristine awareness that is present in the ground Dharmakaya as your own unmanifested face of Samantabhadra. This is without meditation, for pristine awareness identifies itself within itself as the nature of existence of suckness, it is decisively determined, the ground is sustained by itself, indwelling confidence and liberation flow forth directly from it, and you are manifestly united with your true nature without even the slightest bit of meditation on anything else. This is Buddhahood, for it arouses you from a state of ignorance like that of deep sleep and fulfills all the facets of primordial consciousness and sublime qualities. This is presented here, indicating that this extraordinary advice is present here. The purpose of the title is so that people of superior faculties can fathom the synthesized meaning of the text from start to finish. People of middling faculties can know where this belongs in terms of the Hinayana and Mahayana, like the appellations of soldiers training for war and archers training in archery, and even people of inferior faculties can easily find their way to this volume, like putting a name on a medicine jar. The Lankavatara Sutra states, if names are not designated, everyone becomes confused. So the protector, using skillful means, applies names to phenomena. 2. The homage. With unshakable faith I pay homage to the omnipresent Lord and primordial protector, the display of the supreme cities of apparitions of primordial consciousness. The Dharmakaya, the Shugatagava, pervades all beings, from the Dharmakaya, Samantabhadra, down to the midstream of a leech. Just as a sesame seed is saturated with oil, it is omnipresent. If you wonder who this omnipresent Lord is, he is the Dharmakaya, Samantabhadra, so he is the Lord. He does not emerge due to fresh causes and new conditions but is rather self-emergent from time immemorial, so he is primordial. He is a protector because he is the protector and defender of both mundane existence and nirvana. He manifests as apparitions of primordial consciousness because he emanates as the 5 kayas and the 5 Buddha families from the causal 5 facets of primordial consciousness. The Buddha field of the Buddha family emanates from the causal primordial consciousness of the absolute space of phenomena. This likewise applies to the Buddha fields of the Vajra, Jewel, Lotus, and Karma families arising from mirror-like primordial consciousness, the primordial consciousness of equality, discerning primordial consciousness, the primordial consciousness of accomplishment, and so on. All these apparitional manifestations are displays in the expanse of ultimate reality of the mind of the Dharmakaya, Samantabhadra, so they are a display. As for the term city, taking the analogy of human cities in this world, such as Beijing in China and such regions as Kapilavastu and Varanasi in India, a city is so called because it is a gathering place for 18 types of craftsmen and for a continuous stream of merchants and travelers coming and going. Likewise with regard to the pure cities of deities, which are as inconceivably numerous as the grains of sand in the Ganges River, in the central region is the Buddha field of the Buddha family. To the east is the Buddha field of the Vajra family, to the south the Buddha field of the Jewel family, to the west the Buddha field of the Lotus family, and to the north the Buddha field of the Karma family. All of these are foremost and unique among all cities, so they are the supreme cities. Even devas and maras cannot separate the Shugatagava from the mainstreams of individuals who have faith and reverence for it, so it is unshakable. Among the three kinds of faith, admiring faith, protective faith, and irreversible faith, this is faith that combines all three. Or it is called irreversible faith regarding your acquired belief that, as a result of identifying and acquiring indwelling confidence in pristine awareness, the Dharmakaya, the Shugatagava, you will not return to samsara. Homage is offered with this faith, and in this regard there are the foremost homage of encountering the view, the middling homage of familiarization with meditation, and the inferior homage imbued with the three recognitions. The foremost homage of encountering the view entails simultaneous wonderment, belief, and comprehension regarding your own view. What is this? Wonderment is at the immutable, non-conceptual primordial consciousness of the absolute space of the essential nature of reality. Belief is in the synthesis and perfection of all the non-composite, spontaneously actualized qualities of the kayas, facets of primordial consciousness, the path, and its fruition in the mandala of pristine awareness, bodhisattva, and due to your confidence in the revelation of the absolute space of the equality of the three kayas, there is comprehension regarding the lack of even the slightest interest in seeking results elsewhere. In short, I pay homage with words of reverence for the displays of the purity and equality of samsara and nirvana. 3. The explanation of the introduction. In the explanation of the introduction, there are four parts: a. Individuals who lack the proclivity for the path; b. Individuals who do not seek the path; c. Individuals who seek the path but do not find it; and d. Individuals who have a dispensation for the path. A. Individuals who lack the proclivity for the path. Nowadays, when the five kinds of degeneration are on the rise, due to the uncouth nature of sentient beings and the powerful, negative karma, every one of them clings to this life, which is no more than an episode in a dream, makes long-term plans for living indefinitely, and shows no concern for meaningful pursuits pertaining to future lifetimes. Therefore, those who strive for the states of liberation and omniscience appear no more often than stars in the daytime. The five kinds of degeneration are said to be the worsening of mental afflictions, views, era, lifespan, and sentient beings. In the past eon of completeness, mental afflictions were weak and the five poisons were dormant. However, in this current era people behave with coarse mental afflictions and the five poisons are turbulent, so this is the degeneration of mental afflictions. In the past eon of goodness, everyone without exception had authentic views that avoided the extremes of eternalism and nihilism. However, nowadays people either fall to the extreme of eternalism or to the extreme of nihilism, and no one avoids both those extremes, so this is the degeneration of views. In the past eon of goodness, there weren't even words for turmoil, disease, war, famine, and so on. However, the current era is one in which turmoil, disease, war, famine, and so on are on the rise, so this is the degeneration of the era. In the past eon of goodness, everyone was able to live for countless years or for 80,000 years. However, in this current era, people are worn out by the age of 20 and are approaching death by 30, so this is the degeneration of lifespan. In the past eon of goodness, when sentient beings saw one another, they would look at each other with smiling eyes, greet each other with friendly words, and look after each other with altruism. Nowadays, when sentient beings see each other, they all consider each other to be enemies, taunt each other with harsh words, and prepare to beat and kill each other, so this is the degeneration of sentient beings. During this era, when the five kinds of degeneration are on the rise, due to the great magnitude of sentient beings' barbarism and negative karma, everyone clings to and is attached to this human life, which is no more than an episode in a dream, makes long-term plans for living indefinitely, subdues their enemies, protects the friends, erects buildings, plows fields and farms, and increases their wealth in order to add to their possessions and enjoyments. In the meantime, no one shows any concern for meaningful pursuits pertaining to future lifetimes. For these reasons, it is said that people striving for the states of liberation and omniscience are seen more rarely than stars in the daytime. These are individuals who lack the proclivity for the path.
B.
Individuals who do not seek the path. Although some people bear death in mind and enthusiastically practice Dharma, they let their lives pass while engaging in mere verbal and physical spiritual practices and striving for higher rebirths as gods and humans. Even if people bear death in mind and enthusiastically practice Dharma, by spending their lives engaging merely in spiritual practices of physical prostrations and circumambulations, verbal recitations of liturgies, and the mental cultivation of good attitudes, they are striving for nothing more than higher rebirths as gods and humans without any of them striving for the omniscient state of Buddhahood. These are individuals who do not seek the path.
C.
Individuals who seek the path but do not find it. Some, while lacking even the faintest understanding of the view of emptiness, ascertain their own minds as empty, merely identify the nature of discursive thoughts or an active consciousness, and then passively remain in that state. As a result, they are simply propelled into rebirths as gods in the desire and form realms, without coming even a hair's breadth closer to the path to omniscience. Some, while lacking even the faintest understanding of the view of emptiness, when apprehending the external physical world, its sentient inhabitants, and their own internal bodies as ethically neutral, ascertain just their own minds as empty. Then they either take thoughts as the path or else are introduced by some foolish teacher merely to the nature of inactive consciousness and then rest in that state, while remaining totally passive with regard to the 9 kinds of activity of the body, speech, and mind. When they abide doing nothing, the experience of bliss propels them to the desire realm, the experience of luminosity propels them to the form realm, or the experience of non-conceptuality propels them to the formless realm. When this occurs, if they take it to be the pinnacle of meditation and have confidence in that, the result is that they are merely propelled into rebirths as gods of the desire and form realms, without coming even a hair's breadth closer to the path to omniscience. These are individuals who seek the path but do not find it.
D.
Individuals who have a dispensation for the path. Therefore, if there are a few individuals who have accrued vast accumulations of merit and knowledge, over the course of countless eons, conjoined them with fine prayers, and established a karmic connection with the ultimate Dharma, I have bestowed this as their inheritance. Those who have no karmic connection with me and who lack the particular fortune of mastering the Dharma of the great perfection will engage in either projection or denial regarding this teaching and will thereby banish their own minds into the wilderness. You people who are not like that and whose fortune is equal to my own, attend to this advice, and by investigation, analysis, and familiarization, recognize samsara and nirvana as great emptiness, and realize its nature. For that reason, as the sustenance and inheritance for those few individuals who have accrued vast accumulations of merit and knowledge, over the course of countless eons, conjoined them with fine prayers, and established a karmic connection with the ultimate Dharma, I Kunzang Düdjom Dorje, have revealed this. Those who have no karmic connection with me and who lack the karma and fortune to master the Dharma of the great perfection may project faults where there are no faults in this teaching and may deny good qualities that do exist. Such people banish their own minds into the wilderness, far from this clear light Dharma of the great perfection. You people who are not like that and whose fortune is equal to my own, by first attending to this advice, then investigating and analyzing it, and finally familiarizing yourself with it, recognize the nature of the one great emptiness of all the phenomena of samsara and nirvana, and recognize them as displays of the one great emptiness and as the sphere of the one great emptiness. Realize its nature. So it is said. This concludes the virtuous introduction.
B.
The meaning of the text. Among the 3 categories, the category of the mind, the category of the expanse, and the category of pith instructions, of the teachings on the nature of reality, the great perfection, this is called the category of secret pith instructions. In this regard there are 3 sections: view, meditation, and conduct. First, the view is determined and authentically realized by way of four themes: non-existence, oneness, uniform pervasiveness, and spontaneous actualization. This is a sublime, essential point. There are three categories of the mind, expanse, and pith instructions in this Dharma of the nature of reality, the great perfection. Among them, first, this is the view of the category of the mind, the thorough investigation of the mind, the examination of which is primary among the body, speech, and mind, and the examination of the mind's origin, location, destination, form, shape, color, and so on. This is followed by the actualization of the clear light, in which luminosity and cognizance are undifferentiated. Finally, the unification of appearances and mindsets is asserted to be the culmination of the view. Second, this is the view of the category of the expanse, after indivisibly unifying and then meditating on external absolute space and internal pristine awareness. The unification of the absolute space of phenomena and pristine awareness is asserted to be the culmination of the view. Since these two involve seeking the view on the basis of meditation, their pace is a bit slow. Third, among the outer cycle, the inner cycle, the secret cycle, and the very secret, unsurpassed cycle within the category of pith instructions, this is called the category of very secret, unsurpassed pith instructions. With regard to the correct practice of these instructions, there are four sections: 1. Determining the ground by way of the view; 2. How to practice by cultivating the path; 3. Teachings on the conduct that is the support of those two; and 4. The way in which the fruition is actualized. 1. Determining the ground by way of the view. The view is presented in the manner of the landing of a great Garuda. As an analogy, when the king of Garudas seeks food on the ground, he soars up into the sky and carefully examines whether or not the food is guarded and protected and so on, and when he determines that it is not, without any vacillation or uncertainty he eats the food. Likewise, because meditation is sought on the basis of the view, all phenomena included in the world of appearances of samsara and nirvana are determined in terms of a. Non-existence, b. Oneness, c. Uniform pervasiveness, and d. Spontaneous actualization. The true realization of the absolute space of equality of the three kayas is the sublime, most essential point.